Jai Hind children. We will be starting with a new chapter, Devotional Paths to the Divine, and this is going to be the first module. In the beginning of the chapter, it has to say that every human being have their own way of praying. Some people sing bhajans, some have kirtans, then we have carols, and we do feel a sense of calm when we pray to the Almighty. So the first topic is the idea of Supreme God, and it has to say that before large kingdoms emerged, there were different groups of people who worship their own gods and goddesses, and as people were brought together because of the development of town or trade, new ideas they began to develop. Now the idea that all living beings pass through countless cycles of birth, rebirth, good deed, bad deed was widely accepted. And the second idea was that all human beings are not equal at birth, which was becoming very popular. Then there was a belief that social privileges came from the birth in a noble family or in a high caste, you can say in a high caste family, which was the subject of many learned texts. But on the other hand, there were many people who were uneasy with such ideas, and they turned to the teachings of Buddha and the Jains, according to which it was possible to break the cycle of birth and rebirth through their own personal efforts. Others were also attracted to the idea of Supreme God, who could deliver humans from such bondage if they approached God with bhakti or devotion. The same idea was advocated in Bhagavad Gita, and which became very popular. Shiva, Vishnu and Durga, they came to be worshipped as supreme deities through elaborate rituals. Local myths and legends became a part of Puranic stories, and the methods of worship which were there in the Puranas were introduced. It also said that it was possible to receive the grace of God regardless of your caste, and this idea became very popular, and it was accepted by the Buddhists and the Jains. The next topic is a new kind of bhakti movement in South India, and we'll be talking about the Jnanas and the Alvars. Now the Jnanas are the saints who were devoted to Lord Shiva, and Alvars were the saints who were devoted to Lord Vishnu. So in the 7th and the 9th century, we saw the emergence of new religious movements. These were led by the Jnanas and the Alvars, and who came from all castes, including those who were considered as untouchables, like the Pulyas and the Panarans. Now they were critical to the Buddhists and the Jains, and they preached love of Shiva and Vishnu, and they drew upon the ideals of love and heroism which was found in the Sangam literature. They went from place to place composing poems in praise of these deities, and they also gave these poems music. Between the 10th and the 12th century, the Chola and the Pandya kings, they built elaborate temples around many of the shrines visited by these saint poets, and which strengthened the link between the bhakti tradition and temple worship. Poems were compiled, and besides that, hagiographies. Now what is a hagiography? And hagiography is a biography of a saint. Of these Alvars and Jnanas were also composed, and today these biographies or texts are used as sources for writing histories of the bhakti movement or bhakti tradition. The next topic is philosophy and bhakti, and we will be talking about two people, that is Shankara, and the next person is Ramanujan. Now Shankara was one of the most influential philosophers of India, who was born in Kerala in the 8th century, and he was an advocate of Adivaitya, or the doctrine of oneness of the individual and the supreme God. He said that the Brahmans are the ultimate reality, and they were formless without any attribute, and he considered the world around us to be an illusion or a maya, and he preached that the adoption of the path of knowledge to understand the true nature of Brahman and then attain salvation. The next person is Ramanujan, and he was born in Tamil Nadu in the 11th century and was deeply influenced by the Alvars. He said that the best means of attaining salvation was through intense devotion to Vishnu, He also propounded Vishishta Advaita or qualified oneness, in that the soul, even when united with the Supreme God, became or remained distinct. He greatly inspired the new Bhakti strand which developed in North India. So this is your first module. We'll be discussing about the doubts in the live class. Till then, Jai Hind.